Greetings, everybody. Dan Goodwin here, God's Found Jubilee Ministries. Glad you're with us tonight. I want to tell you about a special book that's just been printed by me, Evangelist Dan Goodwin. This is the book. Let's see if I can get that up there so you can see it. Hot off the press. In fact, this is the proof copy of the new book, The Mystery of the Jubilee. And many of you know about this book, and I've been talking about it for some time. And we now have this book. In fact, I love the cover. Hope you can see it there. I love the cover. In the magnifying glass there is the mystery. And let me read for you the back cover. And I'm going to tell you how you can get a copy of this book. Here's what it says. The prophet Daniel. By the way, the Bible is a book of mysteries. That's what it says on the back here. Let me hold that up for you. There's the back of the book there. And you can see this on my Facebook page, God's Found Jubilee Facebook page. You can click on the picture and you can zoom in on it. You can read this. It says this, the Bible is a book of mysteries. The prophet Daniel was told to shut up the words and seal the book even to the time of the end. And we believe that that time is now. We believe that things are unsealed today that have never been unsealed before. And that's what the book's about. Let me read, best-selling author Dan Goodwin believes we are at the time of the end. This book uncovers the mysteries of the end time that have been sealed for generations. Discover the mystery of the prophetic calendar that has been hidden in the Bible right under our noses. Discover the mystery behind the Jubilee and what it has to do with the opening of the seven seals during the tribulation. Journey back in time and discover the barley harvest and its prophetic significance to the Hebrew calendar. Brother Goodwin unveils the mystery of time and reveals the existence of other dimensions outside of time. This book sheds new light on the temple veil, the death of Stephen on the Feast of Trumpets, and many other mysteries that have been concealed from prior generations. So that's the book. This book is just about 300 pages, so it's a little bigger than my other books. 296 pages. In fact, my Jubilee book I have right here. This is the bestseller that's been out there since 2014. We've sold thousands of these, gotten them into hands, given away a lot of them too. This book is 258 pages, and you can see the difference there. Doesn't seem like a lot, but when you pick it up, it sure seems like a bigger book. And of course, the Barley Harvest book, which is my newest book, that you ought to have if you ought to get if you don't have it. This has the missing piece of the puzzle, the barley harvest. This has why nobody will ever figure out the day or the hour, because the barley harvest determines Abib. The barley harvest determines the Jewish calendar, the prophetic Jewish calendar, as well as the agricultural calendar. And the barley is Israel, and you and I are never going to know when God hits that reset button and resets the calendar and then takes the church out of here. Nobody's going to know that. So, but that's a small book. That's 110 pages compared to this big beast here. So, but listen, 300 pages, 296 pages is not a lot. Certain chapters, you may be more familiar with, you could skim a little bit, but this is a book that'll help you. I really believe it will. It's going to be a very exciting book. I think it's going to be a book you're not going to be able to put down. If you liked the Jubilee book, you will love this book. So, all right, let me give you a little overview of the book. And what we're doing is we're offering a special pre-order deal where we're giving you the opportunity to buy a special numbered edition of the book. We have printed 50 of the, or at least we will be. We're going to put out 50 of these, a numbered series 1 through 50, and we're offering people the opportunity to help us here because it takes a lot of money to get the book out. So what I've decided, instead of just having people donate money, I want to give you something. So if you'll buy a special edition of this book, the 1 through 50, I'm going to send this to you, and it's going to be a signed copy. Let me tell you what we've done. here, by the way, they sent me 2 proof copies. One is the regular book. The other is the special edition book. I don't know if you can see the difference there. I'm going to try to hold them up. One of them, this one here has the gold lettering at the top. Do you see it there? Up at the top, it says special unlimited numbered edition up at the top in gold. This one does not. This is the normal book. This is the book that's going to be printed. This is the special edition of 50 books only. Only 50 people will have this book. The other thing special about this book is when you open this book up, inside is going to be a page like that. And by the way, it has color in it. It's the only color, other than the cover, it's the only color that's inside the book. I'm going to pull that out. In other words, when you open that book, the very first page says The Mystery of the Jubilee and Other Prophecies Unsealed, a special limited edition. Book number, this happens to be, and I'm going to pull the page out so you can see it. This happens to be page 45 of 50, printed especially for my good friend Phil Hauser. And then my name's down the bottom. I'm going to sign this and write a little note to Brother Phil, who's a tremendous helper in my ministry here. And but if you buy one of these first 50 books, you will get this exact same insert in your book, only it'll have your name instead of Phil Hauser's name, obviously. And so I think it's going to be nice. So on my Facebook page and on my website is how you buy these. On my website, godsfinaljubilee.com. No, there's not many left. I think there's, as of right now, I think there's 15, 18 left, something like that. And by the time you watch this, there'll be less than that. But my wife has put them on the website. What did I do with my sheet? Let me see. Here we go. In other words, book number one is $500, but you can't buy that one because it's gone. Somebody in Texas already bought that one. Book number 2 and 3 are $300 a piece, but I can't get you those either. Those are gone. 4 and 5 are still available. Those are $200 books. Book 4 and book 5. In other words, this will say book 4 of 50 or 5 of 50 for $100. I'm going to sign that to you, have your name put right in the book. Then the only other one left is book 9. That's $100. So book 9 is $100. Book 4 and 5 is $200 each. And then if you'd rather, book 11 through 50 are $50 a piece, free shipping. Once I get these, this will be in your book. I will sign it to you, and I will ship it straight to your house. We've already got a lot of these already marked off. So right now I think we've got 15 or so, or 16, 18, I'm not sure, of the $50 books that are left. And we really need to get them out there because I need your help. It's going to cost several $1,000s to get the book printed. And so this is an opportunity to you. Many of you give anyway. A lot of you, when we do things like this, a lot of you send us a donation. Here's my chance to do something for you. Not only will you get the opportunity to give and be a blessing and help get this book in the hands of other people, but I get to do something for you. I get to get this in your hand, a special book with your name in it, printed right from the publisher with a page in there with your name printed right in it. I really think it'll be something you'll appreciate, something will be special for you. Anyway, so that's the deal. And these are on the website. When you go to my website, godsfinaljubilee.com, you click on the bookstore up at the top or wherever it is on there. Just click on the store, and you'll see the books up at the top. They're lined up all the way across. You'll wonder, why is the same book listed all these times? Because each one's a different one. Number 4 is there. If you buy number 4, it disappears. Nobody can buy that one. If you buy number 5, it disappears. So right now, 4, 5, and 9 are there as of right this moment when I'm recording this. But then the other ones, the $50 ones, there's a certain number there. And when they're gone, they're gone. So by the way, you can buy as many as you want. We'll put whatever name you want in the book. So now let me So that's on the website. You can buy them right on the website. Now let me tell you a little bit about the book and what's in the book. Let me just go through the table of contents real quickly for you. By the way, I've dedicated the book to my beautiful and wonderful wife. This book is dedicated to my wonderful and beautiful wife of 30 plus years, Lucretia Despain Goodwin. Without her hard work and encouragement, there would be no God's Final Jubilee Ministries. And that's the truth. She travels with me almost everywhere that I go. I don't know what I'd do without her. And I've got some other special thanks in the book that you can read. But let me read for you the table of contents. And the mystery, this is a book of mysteries. This is a book, the Bible is a book of mysteries. Every chapter is an unveiling of some mysteries. Chapter number 1, the mystery of the rapture. Did you know the rapture is a mystery and was until Paul came along? Did you know after Acts chapter 9, did you know the rapture is not mentioned anywhere in the Bible? Did you know that Matthew 24 does not have the rapture in it, nor does Matthew 25, nor does the book of Mark or the book of Luke or the book of John? There's no rapture given anywhere in the Bible until the mystery is revealed to Paul. That's all explained in chapter 1. That sheds some light, my friend, on some of our preaching and some of our teaching over the years, where we use verses in the Gospels to teach a rapture. I'm not saying that the figurative and types are not there. They are. Enoch is a type, and Noah is a type, and Lot is a type. But the doctrine of the rapture was not given. It's a mystery revealed to Paul. All right, so that's chapter 1, the mystery of the rapture. And then number 2, the mystery of the unknown day. What's that about? That's about along the same lines. We're always talking about, well, no one knows the day or the hour of the rapture. The only problem with that is it's not true. Those verses are not talking about the rapture. How do we know? Because the rapture was a mystery. Nobody knew about the rapture. So those verses are talking about the second coming at the end of the tribulation. Now, obviously, if we can't know when the second coming is, we cannot know when his coming in the clouds is, right? So, but it's important that we understand these things because we're taking it out of context. All right, so that's chapter 2. Chapter 3, the mystery of the Jewish wedding and how a young man got his bride. Some wonderful things there that nobody saw several years ago. I mean, these were things that just we didn't understand. We've got the mystery of the 70th week of Daniel explained in here and what that mystery is. We've got the mystery of interpretations. In other words, there's 3 ways to look at the Bible, 3 ways to look at Scripture. There's the literal, there's the figurative, and there's the prophetic. All 3 are important. And I think that's been a mystery. I think people have fought over interpretations and said, look, that's literal, you can't do that. And yet the Bible is meant to be looked at literally, prophetically, and figuratively. So we explain that. The mystery of God's feast days. Important chapter. There's the mystery of the Christian life that I think is pretty exciting. The mystery of God's prophetic calendar. Did you know that the feast calendar is the 7 feasts in Leviticus 23 are actually a prophetic calendar of all the way from the death of Christ all the way to him coming back and setting up the kingdom. That 7 feast in Leviticus 23 is a calendar, God's prophetic calendar, I call it. So then we got the mystery of the Jubilee. Of course, we wrote a whole book on God's final Jubilee. But we've got the mystery of the Jubilee, some interesting things about the Jubilee and that have been hidden over the years that are clear to us today. And chapter 10, very exciting, very, very important chapter. Chapter 10 is called The Mystery of the 7 Sealed Book. Well, what in the world is the 7 Sealed Book, you might be asking? Revelation chapter 5. Remember Revelation chapter 4, verse 1? The Bible says, behold, the door was open in heaven. I heard as it were a voice as of a trumpet saying, come up hither. John is caught up, at least in his mind. He's caught up into heaven, and he's going to experience what happens at the rapture. He's going to see things. You turn to page chapter 5, you'll see, of course, chapter 4, you'll see God the Father sitting on the throne. In his right hand is a book sealed with 7 seals. That's this seven-sealed book that we're talking about here. If you don't understand that book, you will not understand chapter 6 through chapter 19 of Revelation. Very important that you understand that. This book explains what the whole tribulation's about. So, by the way, I believe the seven seal book is, in fact, the title deed to planet Earth. And that explains why the Jubilee is such a main event, such an important part of the prophetic puzzle, is the understanding of the Jubilee. Because the Jubilee is all about property. Every 49 years, the trumpet of the Jubilee is sounded. And that entire 50th year is a Jubilee, and all the property goes back to the original owner on the Jubilee. That's what's going on in the tribulation period. It's the redeeming of planet Earth so that Christ can come back, set up the kingdom, and the 1,000-year millennium takes place. So very important. Some great, exciting things in that chapter for you to understand about that seven-sealed book. And all right, so we got the 7,000-year Earth, chapter 11, the mystery of the 7,000 year, why I believe in a 7,000-year Earth, 4,000 in the Old, 2,000 in the New Testament, Kingdom Age, 7,000-year total. These are things that I think we've lost in our generation, and we're just now beginning to see them again. The mystery of the two candlesticks. I will introduce you to my belief that the two witnesses, the two candlesticks, are in fact Moses and Elijah. I'll give you what I believe is some light that we recently have understood about why those are the two men whom I believe are the two witnesses, Moses and Elijah. I'm convinced of it. Nobody can ever be 100% sure, but 99% sure that, and I'll give you my reasons why. Mystery of the end time signs. Remember, signs are only for Israel and for end time events. There are no signs pointing to the rapture. There's nothing that says when you see this, know that the rapture's near. That verse in Matthew that everybody uses is not talking about the rapture. Rapture was not understood in Matthew 24. All right. The mystery of figures and types. That's understanding typology and figures. And then chapter 15, the mystery of the temple veil. That's the renting of the veil in the temple and how important that event is. And in fact, it's the end of the Old Testament ceremonial law. Very important. That's where the New Testament calendar should begin instead of where they started the Gregorian calendar way back at the birth of Christ. That's not where it began. The New Testament begins at the death of Christ. The mystery of the temple veil. Very, very interesting. One of my favorite chapters right here. Something I like to preach. In fact, if I get an opportunity to preach on a Christmas service, I'll preach this. This is my only Christmas prophecy message. It's called The Mystery of the First Christmas. I believe the first coming of Christ is prophetic. It has some prophetic lessons of the second coming. For instance, I'll just give you one little tidbit. The first coming of Christ is in two stages. He came the first time secretly as a little baby. He's coming the second time publicly, and every eye shall see him on the white horse to set up the kingdom. I said that wrong. He came the second time on the donkey, rides down the hill, and presents himself as their Messiah. So the first coming is in two stages. Secretly as a baby, almost nobody knew. Joseph and Mary, Elizabeth and Zechariah, some shepherds. Very few people knew of the first coming of Christ as a baby. But then he comes down the hill on the donkey. That's the second phase of his first coming. And that's the day of their visitation, Palm Sunday. That's when he presents himself as their Messiah, presents himself as the Passover lamb. And of course, they watch him for 4 days and they kill him on Passover, just as the Bible said. Second coming of Christ, also in two phases. I wish the post-trib people would listen to this. It's two phases, the second coming, just like the first coming. The first part of Christ's coming is secret. In the clouds he comes. Nobody sees him. Comes as a thief. The second phase of that, he comes on that white horse, Revelation 19:11, ends the battle of Armageddon just like that. Comes to the mountain of Olives, rides down the same hill he rode on the donkey, rides through the eastern gate, sets up the kingdom. Okay? The first coming of Christmas. There's some wonderful tidbits in there for you that have been unveiled for us. The mystery of the 25-20 days. Chapter 18, the mystery of the paradise of God. You're going to love that chapter. I talk about Old Testament salvation, how the Old Testament saints got born again and got saved. And we're going to talk about why there's a paradise. Why did the thief on the cross go to paradise and not heaven? What's the difference in heaven and paradise? I'm going to explain all that to you in great details. A lot of scripture in that chapter. And the paradise of God, and why, how Jesus took them out, and why now nobody goes to paradise now. All right, chapter 19. This will be the most interesting chapter in the book, the most talked about. It's called the mystery of time eternal. The mystery of time eternal. This is all about dimensions. I talk about different dimensions, and we talk about time travel. We talk about Einstein's theory of relativity, and we talk about some examples in the Bible where people came from another dimension and showed up here. This is an exciting chapter, and you're going to love that one. Chapter 20, the mystery of the three Babylons. Oh, I wish I could just sit here and tell you all about that chapter. It came out so good. You're gonna enjoy that. Mystery. Of course, the mystery, Babylon's called Mystery Babylon. I'm going to explain Babylon to you very simply. And the mystery of three Babylons. The mystery of Palm Sunday, the mystery of the Abib barley. I got some barley stuff from the barley book. Got some of that I explain in here about the barley and why the barley is important and what it means, how it applies to meaning. It's Israel. The barley represents Israel. Very important. That unlocks the key to many things that we've been confused about. All right, and just a couple more here. The Midianite's dream. Got the mystery of the Midianite's dream and the story of Gideon and the dream about the cake of barley. That's in here. The mystery of the 12 baskets. And of course, that's the feeding of the 5,000. Tremendous story there. Tremendous prophetic lesson there. And again, you'll see there why nobody will ever figure out the day of the hour. It's impossible. All right, we're season setters. We're looking at the season. The season is ripe for the coming of the Lord. And then the mystery of Stephen. What does Stephen in Acts chapter 7 have to do with all this? It sums it all up, my friend. Stephen is, the whole picture of the 7,000 years comes together perfectly right to the day when you understand Stephen. So that's the book. If any of that sounded interesting to you, if you're broke and you can't afford to get in on the 50 special editions, the book as soon as she gets them printed for me, you'll be able to buy at the regular price the book from the website. GodsFoundJubilee.com is the website. We will be doing an ebook as soon as we can get it done. We'll put that out there, probably on Kindle, on Amazon. We may try to get one put on a website if we can figure out how to do it. So there will be an ebook. I know there's a lot of people who read on Kindle and read on their computer. They don't read paper books anymore. So we will be doing that. Folks have asked if I'm going to do an audio book. It's something I'd like to do. It's on the burner. I don't know. We may, but takes time, takes money, all that stuff. So we're going to work on it though. So, all right, this is Brother Dan Goodwin, God's Found Jubilee Ministries, and just wanted to give you a little bit about the book. Like I say, the book, the proof is out. We're checking it out, checking for typos and stuff. This is the 19th of September today. We're thinking by Monday to have her begin printing, and within 4 or 5 days or a week, we'll have books ready to ship. So if you buy one of the 50, your book will ship within a week or so, hopefully, and you'll have it. And the rest of you, the other copies will be right behind that. So, all right, it's going to be an exciting book. These are exciting days. So I think this book will unlock some mysteries for you. Feel free to comment, ask questions. Be glad to help in any way I can. God bless y'all.